A winning edition of Bucks Live is presented by Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin. Boy, is it good to be back at Fiserv Forum. 1:30 to 1:15, the final tonight. And the only meeting in Milwaukee between these two teams. The Bucks have not lost to Sacramento in Milwaukee since November of 2015. And these Kings know Dame Lillard all too well by now. He answers with 24 points for the Bucks. An incredible effort from Dame time. Points in the paint, a big storyline of this game, and the big fella from Stanford chipping in with 21. And Giannis Antetokounmpo, Milwaukee's greatest showman, putting together his 5th triple-double of the year as the Bucks win 130 to 115. From the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk, Stephen Watson and Steve Novak here with you inside Fiserv Forum. 130 points, a season high for these Milwaukee Bucks, Steve, but maybe more impressive, their 4th wire-to-wire win of the season coming off of a tough loss in New York.
Yeah, and really now you look back at this span and it all becomes okay because now they've won 4 of the last 5 games, and they really are playing well. And you look at that New York game and you go, this Bucks team was the team that gave up 140 points to the Knicks, and obviously that was a night where it was the Knicks coming off a 25-point loss and responding. And so for the Bucks to have a 34-point loss to the Knicks last game, all of a sudden just to see what teams and what these guys in the NBA are capable of as far as responding, you saw it right away, right out of the gates, the way they performed in that first quarter. This Bucks team set the tone, and they wanted to, I think, right what was wrong in that New York game, and they really did it very quickly.
Well, it was their superstars who got behind the microphone and said, we need to be better. Giannis leading the way in that category for Milwaukee. His 5th triple-double of the year, Steve. 33 points, 11 rebounds, and he ties a season high with 13 assists.
Well, and I just love that he does it in this matchup because when you're going up against a Sabonis, look, he is a really good player. He could be countering everything Giannis is doing on the other end, and so Giannis has got to come out. He's got to be sharp. He's got to be good defensively. He's got to handle it the way he does. He's got to be so dynamic because they've got an all-star that is just as dynamic. Maybe that's a stretch, but he's really good, Sabonis. And so for Giannis to come out and have his 50th career triple-double, and let's make sure we note that it's a 30-point triple-double. He's had an 11-point, 12-rebound, 13-assist triple-double that we counted because it is a triple-double, but these are the kind of triple-doubles that we're used to recording for Giannis, the 20, the 30, the 40-point triple-doubles where he's doing so much. The scoring is overwhelming. His dominance is overwhelming, but his skill, his gravity, the energy that he brings, the spirit that he plays with, it really shows in the assists. It shows in the rebounds. It shows in the not the triple-double part, but the 2 or 3 blocks that he gets. And tonight in a 15-point win, in the minutes that Giannis played, he was a plus 30. So the Bucks outscored the Sacramento Kings by 30 points in his minutes, and it just shows how good of a night he really had.
Yeah, his 4th 30-point triple-double of the season, to your point. Brook Lopez also a difference maker in this win for Milwaukee. He's standing by with Melanie Ricks.
Hey, Brook, first off, congratulations on the win. How big was this one coming into tonight, especially knowing that the Kings were on a 7-win game streak?
Yeah, it was obviously huge. You know, we know they've been playing well. We've been playing well as well, but they've been playing well. They've been streaking. So, you know, obviously we were coming in tonight trying to play a great team game and end their streak. But more importantly, we knew we had a homestand starting tonight, so we wanted to set it off on the right note.
Well, and speaking of, you really set the tone in the first quarter. Can you talk about the ball movement that your team executed in the first half?
Yeah, it was really beautiful. You know, we were completely unselfish. It's the epitome of what our team is, and it was just as great because I think it started defensively. Our defensive intensity, our defensive focus was there from the jump, from the get-go, and it fed everything else.
Well, and going into tomorrow, it's going to be the second night of a back-to-back, a very tough, very physical Orlando Magic team. What does your team need to carry over into that game?
We just need to come with the same focus and same intensity. We know that Magic team, they play a full 48 minutes. They play hard regardless who they got available, who they got on the floor. So we have to do the exact same thing.
We'll see you tomorrow. Congrats.
You know it. Thank you.
Brook Lopez, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists for Milwaukee. Steve, he had 13 points total over the last 2 games. What made him more effective tonight offensively?
Well, I just love the way that he lets the game come to him. He's never being too aggressive to get rebounds. You feel like he taps them out to his teammates. He's never too aggressive to score, but when he gets disrespected, look at him put the ball on the floor, take it to the rack and punish some of the little fellas, and then look at that beautiful 2-man game. Giannis knows where to throw it up to Brooks so that he can go throw that thing down, and obviously his ability to stretch the floor, to always know where to be, to make sure he's pulling the big guy away from Giannis, and if he does, if he gets a little too close to Giannis, Giannis will throw it to him and he'll knock a 3 down just like that. And so I just think Brooks' ability to really let the game come to him and be that complementary piece that he is. He's down there protecting at the rim on the offensive end. He's not forcing anything, just allowing Giannis, allowing Dame to do what they do. And if they need him, he'll have a 20-point-plus night like he did tonight. And it obviously matters in a game where you allow a team to score 115, but it was never a close game. 11-point game late in the mid-fourth quarter, call it. But that was the closest they got it after Milwaukee had a 28-point lead in this. And look, it was just too much offense, and it has to happen that way. It can't be just one or two guys scoring. If you're going to really get in a shootout and outscore a team like this, it's got to be Dame, Giannis, and a guy like Brook Lopez.
To your point, from the 5-minute and 17-second mark of the first quarter to the end of the game, the Bucks never led by double digits that entire span. So an incredible offensive effort, and that first quarter really was the difference.
Made threes in that first quarter. The Stars really setting the tone and making sure the Sacramento Kings understand, look, if you're going to try to compete with us tonight, you're going to have to be really good on both ends because we've already scored 47 points. We've already had a 21-point lead at the end of the quarter, and so they're in quite a hole. And it really does. It sets that tone so much, which, look, it really is. It matters because the opposite is a lot harder. When you're down by 10, 15, 20 points and you realize you're the team that's got to do so much right, all of a sudden guys start to force. They try to do a little bit too much, and I think it just allowed Milwaukee, I think, to set the tone and then be themselves for the rest of the game.
67% shooting from the Bucks in that first quarter, and they made 18 field goals. It just goes to show it was a collective effort, and they were shooting at an incredible efficiency en route to a blowout win over the Sacramento Kings. Damian Lillard had his hands all over that early action from Milwaukee. We'll talk about Dame time coming up next. Live on FanDuel Sports Network is brought to you by Freighter and the Medical College of Wisconsin. By Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs. And by Steinhoffels, Wisconsin's largest furniture and mattress retailer. 130 to 115, the final tonight in downtown Milwaukee. The Kings entered the evening with a 7-game winning streak that was the longest active in the NBA. From the Gruber Law Office's One Call, That's All Sports Desk, Stephen Watson and Steve Novak here with you on Bucks Live. We talked about Giannis and his triple-double, his 5th of the year. Damian Lillard and these Sacramento Kings, I mean, how about nightmare fuel for these Kings the last 2 meetings here in Milwaukee? Had the Dame time walk-off on this date exactly a year ago, and tonight, Steve, 24 points and hitting 5 threes.
Yeah, and he's just been in such a nice rhythm, and I think you can just tell from the start of this game, he had a little different pop in his game, and those 3-pointers and this and 1-3 got that call that he's always looking for on the shot. It was good to see him get that, but he just had a little different bounce to him, a little different pace when he had the ball. Look at the force that he played with. When he's getting downhill and he's getting in the lane, and he's getting those paint touches, everyone benefits, and then just some beautiful passes, beautiful assists by his teammates to get him the ball once they saw that he was in rhythm. I thought the ball movement tonight just seemed like it was at another level. Guys were moving with confidence, knowing that there was willing passers everywhere, and I think Dame really was the recipient of that, especially when you are a guy who's the point guard and you're a guy who can really shoot that thing. Obviously, with 5 more threes tonight, it's nice to know that you can give the ball up and that it might go first side over to the second side, and then those guys might turn the corner and come back looking for you to knock some shots down. And it seemed like it happened a lot for him tonight. 32
assists for the Bucks. I mean, they're 6-1 this year now when they have 30 or more assists. And Dame in particular hitting 5 threes. That's the 10th time he's done that this season. And one of the other big keys to this win was points in the paint, because this was or is a Kings team that's second in the NBA in allowing the fewest points per game in the paint. And then Giannis and company are Havish and Rozier, numbers that matter. 48 points in the paint tonight, Steve.
Yeah, and you're seeing why right here. Just look at the willingness to pass. This one, Brook taken by himself with a little physicality, but on some of those other possessions, just seeing the way Giannis is looking for Brook and seeing Dame getting in the paint and dishing it off to somebody. I think the interior passing tonight might have been the best I've seen all season long. And obviously, like you said, the points in the paint, it shows up with those 48 points for this team. And obviously the differential against Sacramento really stands out, being a team that they are pretty good at that as well. But I just think the willingness to pass, the willingness to have your eyes up and to be looking for the open guy. This team is really reading what the defense is doing. And look, this is a good Sacramento team, like you said, that has the longest streak, or did, coming into this game in the NBA with 7 straight games. They're playing with a different energy. They were good on both ends of the floor. And Milwaukee really responded tonight.
And also important to note, the bench outscoring the Kings 41-22. A.J. Green, Ryan Rollins in double figures off the bench for Milwaukee. Really a collective effort in this Bucks win over Sacramento. Coming up, we're going to hear from head coach Doc Rivers as the Bucks get back on track with a 15-point win.